chicken room, baby. Boom, boom, chicken room.
We'll make a quick video about
Okay,
about
you
being
being
in your thoughts,
and going to certain places, going to certain
spaces, going to certain frequencies when you expand outside of what's
what's normal, which is usually the people you're around,
around, and you kind of.
broaden up your mind further than them, right?
Now when you do this, this is when you're able to kind of
Tap into different thought processes, different forms, greater beings
things that can kind of trickle down.
and give you information greater than what is kind of given, like, you know what I'm saying, on an everyday thing, right?
So, uh, what's it called? Man, you hear my dog?
Oh man, I don't know what the hell. Golly.
My dad don't be knowing shit. Okay, but yeah. So yeah, I know sometimes
You know, when you on this thought process, it's hard to pretty much
like feel like there's nothing.
nothing else to run to. But okay, I've expanded this much, I've elevated this much, I've done this much, but nobody else wants to do it with me. You know what I'm saying? So it's almost like at that point you kind of run to what the people that built the world is thinking, because since you've expanded your mind, they know that some people are going to get to this space.
However you get to
However you think, you're still in the space of, okay, I'm outside of this, and I know that there's more out there type shit, and that's what you got to do to get initiated.
into being broader,
You know what I'm saying? So uh,
So as
when you're on these certain process of thought, right? You start to feel
feel alone, especially
especially
if
if
you
you don't have nobody to talk to this to around you. You start feeling alone when you go off to these spaces of broad thinking and outside thinking of the world. You know, everyday thinking that people do talk about, you go outside of that. So when you are out here so long, you start getting in the frequency, the vibe, not the frequency, the vibe or a space of rebellion,
rebellion because nobody's coming with
you. So it's almost like you can only thing you can go to, as far as you go to, is just being your own individual among other people. The 11 energy. So that's as far as you go. So you don't make the whole completion, which 11 is just two,
you. You don't make the whole completion with.
with an added one or added two, or just add one to it to make the whole three, to make a whole circumstance. You just remain.
Remain 11 since so you just remain an individual among other people, so you just end up basically rebelling against all, and you don't pretty much tap into the energy
That you could really
create your whole world. See,
they want you to stay. The people
that run the world want you to stay.
as an individual among other people, because
They know that the human brain makes you think that you're outside of these.
things. If you when
You go as far as thinking,
that you know that you're different, basically.
you know. But that's the witchcraft. It's like you think you different or outside of it, but
But you're still among it, and you're still just putting your own 2 cents just in your own way, no matter how unique or how whatever it is. You still doing the same thing everybody else doing, but it's your own way. But people don't get that.
anyways. So I say all this to say
That people that are in these thought process, do not give up on your people, and do not ever feel like you need to separate hard enough that you got to leave them in the dust just because you've been
given information outside of you, or
just if you started realizing shit inside of you. But if you really realize things inside of you, you wouldn't want to leave them. You would just be like, you know what, I'm gonna take accountability,
and I'm gonna face it.
because the separation
Part is just from
you, it's
like you're not doing the
full reflection of yourself. All you're doing is going down and sinking away and getting hooked into some other type of information that makes you think you need to
detach away from your family. That makes you think you need to detach away from friends, or just completely separate and just start being on some cut.
cutthroat shit, and it's all about the grind, and it's all about what makes sense ahead of me right now. That's what the whole system wants you to do, because they know they have to have systems or variables, even, or ways
For even for people that expand their mind outside.
outside of what the normal is. That's why they have celebrities, but they have certain people that do this on a scale where they don't need the society or the 5 seals that they give them. So then for these people,
they use the mental tactic, which is people like me and you that just expanded our minds.
they use the tactic of making us
Feel like we need
to talk down on people that aren't on our level. You know what I'm saying? That's a whole concept, and that's not real. It just was kind of made for making
people need to gain status and feel like
they need to climb up the ladder to get a certain place. But you just need to know
that that's just a system created for you. Do not separate to the point that you externally start actually
carrying out ways of you really detaching away and changing.
but for the negative end of just for the sake of rebellion. See, that's when you do it for
A negative reason. But when you change because yourself changed and you're like, man, I only want to see what I'm trying to see. But I'm not gonna put that on nobody else. But I'm just gonna be me more, and I'm gonna be in my space more by myself more, so I know what helps me and what caters to me. Okay.
So, no detachment, no
feeling like you need to elevate, no feeling like you've been through. Oh, that's another thing. Do not feel like you've been. Do not ever think that you've been through something where you feel the need to tell others that they need to kind of listen to you because, oh, I've been through this, so trust me, I know, or that type of energy. Nobody wants to be told what they think they know, even though people are hypocrites and they do the same thing even though they don't like it. So basically,
they'll sit there and talk
to you
about what they've been
through and being like, oh yeah, I would know. But then out the same breath, not like somebody that talks to them about shit they've been through. Subconscious, they just be like, man, this person don't know what they talk about. See, we do it all the time. Okay? It's witchcraft. It's fucked. So do not do it. Do not ever detach away from your damn people, which is humans that's right beside you trying to do the same thing you doing, which is get comfortable and find some type of system that is more catered to everybody around them and not being used for energy.